What's up, everybody? Welcome to the No Scrubs Allowed podcast. Seal, you getting your camera straight now? You had it for a while.
I had it, and I didn't like it because, the Red Sox thing isn't showing up.
Yeah, I just don't sit far enough back from the camera to make it show up.
This is kind of down, too. I try to keep mine.
Oh, yeah. If mine was straight, it'd just be looking like that.
Yeah.
Which works, I guess, but...
Yeah, you're smart. I have mine sitting on a bum man's shoebox. Shoebox.
Mine's sitting on my couch while I'm sitting on my table like a bum. All right. So, anyways, what's up, everybody? We don't have a lot to talk about, but I did want to shout out myself, sort of, half shout out, for a second straight week here on the podcast. I just missed out on a bet. Freaking, I'm like the almost better. It's ridiculous. So we made our Masters bets last week, and Rory was his double 420 vote, and it did not go all that well.
Oh, you called that?
Yeah. He missed the cut, but my vote, Xander Schauffele, was in the final pairing on Sunday. He was down 2 strokes at the 16th hole. He had a real shot, and he triple bogeyed the 16th hole and ended up finishing like 7th place or something. But I was that close once again. So if you want to listen to my bets, it's always close. Eventually, I'm going to break into the actual wins here one day.
If you want to listen to my bets, just go ahead and donate that money to the podcast.
Right.
We'll be able to get a tax write-off at least for that, maybe.
NoScrubsports@gmail.com.
Yeah,
and then I'll send you guys my PayPal or something.
That was an awesome Masters. It started out. We both said like it was just, it looked like it was going to be fun. Bryson DeChambeau looked like he was going to be able to do something, and I don't know what it was about the grass. I don't know golf and shit, but it wasn't sitting like it was supposed to. They were like going They were going 300 yards, and they were sitting at like 310, I guess, and they weren't flying the way they usually would. And then I guess on Friday they took the vacuums out or some shit.
Yeah, it was too wet throughout
this. Started picking up, and then Saturday and Sunday, I guess it was wide open. And this Matsuyama dude, or whatever, however you say
Matsuyama or whatever his name is, yeah.
He like broke his putter on the first day, and was putting with a 3-wood the rest of the way. And so the course was giving everybody fits on the first day,
except for Justin Rose on the first day. He posted a -7, and then he didn't do shit the rest of the tournament.
Yeah, it was it was kind of fun to watch. I mean, the Masters is always kind of cool and fun to watch, and I like how Matsuyama, we're just gonna call him Matsuyama.
I think that's his name.
His caddy bowed
he came back and bowed.
And then I saw another sports outlet tweeted somebody's text that he was at the airport on somebody's 6:45 a.m. flight the next day to Chicago, and he just had his duffel bag and the green jacket draped over his seat. Just
nice. Chilling. Well, yeah, so shout out to him. I think that's Japan's first ever Masters Championship.
Yeah. So
shout out to him. Good game. Everybody else, they kept it close, which is nice. I don't like those blowouts that are over by the time the 4th day starts. There were, on Sunday, I think there were about 6 people that still had a shot, and Matsuyama was in first, but he bogeyed like hole 2 or something. So he was giving people a chance, and then he kind of turned it on the stretch and won pretty easily, I think, by like 3 or 4 strokes. So, but yeah, shout out to him. It was a good weekend for that. But really, other than that, I mean, there's not a lot of big stories in sports.
Did you see, I don't know who it was, but somebody received a stroke penalty because they grazed the sand. They were in the bunker, and they grazed the sand on their backswing.
That's so stupid. Like, golf has some dumb rules.
After his round was over that day, he was notified, hey, you were given another stroke penalty because you grazed the sand on your backswing. And
golf has some weird
He tweeted
rules.
the film that they showed him, and it's literally he's sitting there doing his little thing and never once touches it, and then like if he would have just touched it, they probably never would have said anything. But right when he starts his backswing, he hit it, and
golf has some weird rules. I don't know how that would have helped his stroke or anything like that. So I'm not sure why you get a stroke penalty there, but it happens, whatever. Another big story that I did want to bring up because we can only talk about golf for so long since we don't actually know golf, is a sport that we do kind of know about, and that's football. There's a lot of people opting out of these voluntary workouts. We got the Broncos now, the Seahawks now, the Bucks. There's going to be more. Do you see anything about this, or is it just the teams don't really need to go? And last year they were canceled because of COVID and nothing. It didn't really affect too much of the game, but we saw the first few weeks were kind of rough.
I like how the teams came together as a whole and just opted out instead of the players coming, because they made them last week they came out and said, hey, it's all voluntary. All the shit before training camp is voluntary. We're not going to have the mandatory 10-day pre-training camp shit where every Jaguar under Tom Coughlin's era got fined if they didn't show up, the maximum penalty, because screw the players and their families and whatever. Like Jalen Ramsey was having a fucking kid and got fined for not showing up to OTAs.
Right.
And so, yeah, I like that the teams are coming together, because whenever I saw that there was a little bit of animosity, I was like, oh, here we go. It's going to be the players again. Like, the players are in the wrong here.
Right.
Like, if they made it, hey, let's get together for 5 days. No, they want to do the same old 13-day OTAs and have them there over the weekend, and now they're going to be in a bubble and stuff like that. Like, it's not worth it. I can just stay at home. Like, and for the most part this year, you have a lot of the same people coming back. Free agency, it was the first day was crazy as shit. Now we have the Giants and the Dolphins. That's really the only big trading going on right now in the draft. So everything's pretty been stalemate for the last 3 or 4 weeks. So everybody on the teams have a playbook. Trevor Lawrence has a fucking Jaguars playbook right now, and is talking with Urban and let him know what he likes and stuff. So everybody's in communication. There's no reason to really risk it. In August, we're going to be a milestone forward than we are right now with this COVID stuff. We're starting to have fans everywhere. The Masters had a shit ton of fans. I'm not ready to say that we've beaten this thing yet, but we're on the way there. And by August, we will be a full step forward once we're getting to the preseason and the regular season going. So right now, there's no reason. And I really do appreciate the front offices, who are usually the ones pointing the fingers at the players not showing up for these OTAs, the voluntary bullshit. And I like that they're just shutting it down and pretty much telling Goodell to go fuck himself.
Well, it's crazy because I don't know why they still need to have basically spring training, spring football when you're in the pros. Like, it's not the same system.
Because you also have to rely on these guys to stay in conditioning for 4 months under no surveillance and no.
So I guess that's more why they want to do it. Yeah, that's why college does it. College does it so that they actually have some control over the workouts of the team.
Yeah, in basketball, the reason you only see all the draftees and maybe the 3 or 4 2-year players going into doing the summer league is because a lot of these guys are playing basketball all season, or even in the
month and a half that
they have free. Yeah, in the month and a half they have free, they might be spending time with their family, but 2 or 3 days a week they're doing pickup games in these leagues and stuff like that. So there's really no need for that. But in football, these guys are literally screwing their bodies over for 7 months, and then for 4 months they're relaxing. So yeah, I can kind of see you needing that, but fuck OTAs, extend training camp by 3 or 4 days and add just conditioning days. And or maybe even instead of OTAs and having these guys come in and just wearing them out, just do light conditioning for 3 or 4 days and then say, listen guys, 3 weeks until we really start grinding. You guys have 3 weeks to get yourself into shape, or we're going to kill you over here on this practice field.
Right.
And that's a lot better than having 13 days to really just ridicule and grind these guys that try to whip their ass into boot camp shape and say, haha, 2 weeks from now, you're getting this shit again. So it's going to take a lot of give or take. And hopefully with this COVID and this pandemic and a lot of people realizing there's a lot of stuff you have to do in your own time and me time to benefit yourself and keep yourself safe. And hopefully that'll transition to keeping yourself physical and physically sound and in shape to go, and not have to have that 6-week window to get there.
Well, hopefully the players are taking some initiative as well, because we saw last year with all of the OTAs and training camps and stuff being canceled that there were a lot more injuries at the beginning of the year than we would have liked to see. So hopefully they're actually doing what needs to be done. to take care of themselves. I know gyms are pretty much open. When stuff's open in California, I know that it's open everywhere else, and gyms are slowly opening up, which is nice, and things like that. So.
And that's why I mentioned it's kind of a stalemate right now. You don't have all these new guys like last year. We had the Bucks and Tom breaking into high school fields and having police come out telling them to leave and stuff like that. Like you pretty much have what you had last year, besides 3 or 4 pieces and maybe a couple of draft picks or a couple practice squad people and stuff like that. So, and yeah, like you said, you're able to go get haircuts now. You and your girl can go to the bar and watch sports. So things are pretty much starting to get back to some kind of normalcy. So I don't really see in today's age. I mean, back in the day when OTAs were invented, guys were smoking cigarettes at halftime and shit like that. So yeah, these guys can quickly turn around in 3 weeks after sitting around and eating Whoppers for a month and a half, 2 months. But it's just crazy that it was last year. Last year was chaos with these OTAs and people opting out. And I was happy to see that these guys were getting their $100,000 or whatever it was.
Right.
Never even played in the league, but we're going to give you $100,000 to sit out and try again next year, knowing, hey, here's $100,000 to give up your career in the NFL, pretty much. Right. But I like how this year they're really a lot of these teams are complimenting the players and siding with the players on these OTAs.
Yeah, I agree. I think it should always be voluntary if you have their mandatory training camp coming up as well. Like you said, just to mirror what you said. But one thing that did get added recently, at least to my team, is Gio Bernard. I don't know if you saw that. So the Bucks signed Gio Bernard.
Why?
He's not going to get much use. I really don't know why they signed him. We have our entire team back. So maybe he was just a cheap guy that we decided, hey, why not get some depth? But it's cool because if he can turn the clock back at all, the way that everybody else that's been coming into Tampa Bay, he can give us some of those third down plays where he does some good things.
But that's really where you guys have youth. You have Rojo. He's in his 3rd year, going into his 3rd year.
Yeah, 4th
year. Leonard Fournette, 4th year. Leonard Fournette's going into his 4th or 5th year this year. Yeah, 2018. So 4th year.
Right.
No, 2017 was our championship run. So going into his 5th year now in the league. So yeah, they got a lot of youth. Both their running backs are in their prime. And I feel like, yeah, Gio's a great blocking running back. He's really good at pass blocking. But that's a tell sign, right? Usually either Rojo or Fournette's in. It could be a run or they're checking or releasing out into the flat. But if Gio's going to be in, it's either, all right, he's either running the ball or they're passing the ball. You don't have to worry. But nobody has to worry about picking him up in coverage. Just be an eye.
But hey, if Tom can get one more blocker, it's fine. You know?
Yeah, a better blocker. Yeah, we're about to pass it on you. Do something about it, kind of thing.
Instead of having Rojo back there just throwing nothing, hitting air.
Kind of like a Cam. Who was it? Was it? I forget who it was when Cam Newton. Somebody said,
"Oh, you read the playbook too."
He's like, you've been watching film, huh? All right, watch this.
Yeah, I think that was JJ Watt and Cam.
Was it?
Yeah, because JJ Watt was calling out the play before the game. He's like, "Oh, you watch film too? Okay."
Watch this. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. But I mean, I like to add the depth in there, whatever. Let's get Gio a ring too. The Bengals didn't get him shit. So we'll help him out. Why not?
Yeah. I forget who we signed. We signed another defensive lineman, which just more depth. We're not getting besides Shaquille is the one, right? We got
the good one.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, they're both good.
The starting cornerback.
The one with 2 hands. We'll do that.
The cornerback.
They played him. There we go. Yeah. But we got Shaquille. But besides that, we're getting more depth, and which I like. Like I texted you. Mel Kiper says that we're going to get Tony with our late 1st round pick, which I wouldn't mind at all. But as a Gator fan, and I know he's electric as fuck, and to have him on our team and not on somebody else's team who's just going to completely Tyreek Hill everybody. Right. And yeah, so I mean, I wouldn't mind that, but he's going to take away playing time from Laviska Shenault. He's going to take away. I mean, we already got rid of Keelan Cole, but he's just going to take slot action away, and I'm not really down for that. But kind of like that's what I see in us receivers and everything starting on the defensive end. We don't really need, and that's how I felt whenever I saw you guys get Gio. But I love what the Jaguars are doing. I love that we already gave Trevor Urban's playbook and what their offense wants to kind of do and see what he likes and what he doesn't like and stuff like that. And what we're now what, 15 days away? Tomorrow, when this comes out, we'll be 15 days away. It starts on Thursday, so I'm fucking excited, bro. Football's almost here. And while we're at it, real quick, shout out Julian Edelman. It's always fishy how they do these. It's weird how they came out earlier in the day. Adam Schefter said he was being released because of a failed physical, but not even an hour. I texted you. I was like, I think he might retire, bro.
Yeah.
Hour later, here comes a video of him in the stadium at nighttime, even though he posted it at like 3 p.m.
Right.
So all this shit was already planned out. But hey, listen, I'll save you guys some money. Just say it was a failed physical. You can release me. You don't have to pay me for this year and all this bullshit that happened.
The release was for the cap over everything else.
It's so crazy, dude.
But good on Edelman. I mean, to help out where he can. I would have taken my money. I would have been like, oh, I'm good.
Yeah. Like, Foxborough forever, but pay me.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, shout out to Edelman. I mean, I don't like the Patriots. Obviously, I don't like Patriot Tom Brady. But Edelman was always a good guy, and I liked to watch him play. He was the guy that had all the big catches in the Super Bowls, you know.
Yeah,
he was
6th-round pick.
Yeah.
Out of what, like Memphis State?
He was a quarterback, right? In college, and then like they just decided to grab him and give him a go.
Yeah, just like what was his name? The lacrosse player, Chris Hogan. They just do weird shit over there in New England.
Yeah, exactly. And it works. It works a lot of the time. So but we all know that Julian Edelman's a great guy. You see all the films that come out, or not the films, the highlights of him talking on the sideline to Brady and stuff like that. And he always seems like a fun-loving guy, a good character dude that every team wants to have. So shout out to him.
Yeah.
But fuck New England.
Yeah.
Not Foxborough forever.
I like this part of Boston.
Well, they don't play in Foxborough, so you can still say fuck Foxborough. They play right in downtown. It's nice. I never even saw anywhere close to New England Patriots whenever I was up there. So
nice.
I saw all the other stuff.
It's like Connecticut-ish, right?
I don't know where Foxborough is.
I think it's Connecticut.
I didn't really care enough to go.
I don't give a fuck.
But let's talk a little bit about the draft. It is coming up. We'll talk about it obviously a lot more next week. But it looks like if these trades go through with Miami and all those guys, it looks like it might be a run of quarterbacks to start it off.
Oh yeah.
With Lawrence, then the guy from BYU, his name? Zach Wilson, and then.
Oh, sorry, Justin Fields. But real quick, it's crazy that what was it, last week or the week before? We didn't really touch on it at all.
Right.
Or I said something. Justin Fields stuck after some doctor said, yeah, he has a really good brain.
Right.
He has photogenetic. I mean, I have that too a little bit nowadays with
photographic memory and all
my
that
medicine and stuff and the Caesar and shit. My brain doesn't really work all that good anymore. But back in the day, yeah, that's how I remember stuff. I would always put shit in my brain and it'd bring up pictures.
Right.
And his draft stock shot up. And then here the Jets are without Adam Gase. They have Robert Saleh now, the old San Francisco defensive guy who we thought was going to have a job last year.
Yep.
But ended up getting a job this year somehow, even though they fucking sucked last year on defense. But, so he's in the Jets now, and now Zach Wilson's the apparent locked-in number 2 pick. Nobody even talks about the first 2 picks even more on all these sports outlets when they talk about it. And yeah, it's crazy. And to think of Justin Fields in San Francisco, that seems like it would be a match made in heaven. I don't remember that kid's name who showed out in the Super Bowl, but he's young as shit. They have a young-ass running back who they actually signed last year, which they needed to. They should have. He deserved it. So they look kind of primed to be something in the next 4 or 5 years there. And then I just feel like Zach Wilson in New York, he hasn't really proven anything. He's kind of like Gonzaga going into the tournament. Yeah, you look good, but who did you really play against?
Right.
And yeah, Justin Fields, and we've all seen the Ohio State players and all that stuff coming out of the quarterback and the way their offenses are maybe easily set up for them.
Right.
This doctor's saying his brain's fucking awesome. So it's just weird to me that the Jets are going to keep being the Jets and Jets it up and go with Zach Wilson out of BYU.
And the 49ers couldn't be happier because their offense is set up like Ohio State's pretty much. So if they would have taken Zach Wilson, it would have been a problem. But then also a little later on in the first round is that guy. Have you looked up anything on this guy, the other quarterback that's out of some small school? I don't even
Trey
remember his
Lance.
name. Yeah.
Trey Lance, North Dakota State. Yeah. So he had one game. They set up an exhibition game. We talked about it like 4 months ago. And he really didn't look that good, but he had 2 pro days and he showed out. He really looked really fucking good and he shot up.
Because that's a D2 school, right? Or FCS or whatever?
Yeah, it's the FCS school. So he's looking into making anybody who chooses Mac Jones over him like kind of foolish. Like, why would you do that? And after that one game, it was like, yeah, he should have went in the draft his junior year. And he should have not opted in. And then that whole FCS shit, his league or whatever it is he's in, decided not to have a league go on. But shout out to his team to pull through and get a game going and all that blase. But yeah, if it was down to me, Mac Jones, the weapons he had for all 4 years, and yeah, his Nick Saban's hyping up that he came from a third stringer and he fought and worked hard and all this shit. Bro, you never once wowed me. And the people that you had, I can throw it 45 yards and find a spot and have my guys go up and get it. I mean, just the players that he had the last 2 years as a starter, 3 years as a starter is absolutely insane. No, 2 years, last year and this year. So yeah, I mean, I would go with Trey Lance, the guy out of nowhere who has no names and guys who are probably going to maybe 1 or 2 of the players he played with in the last 4 years of college end up in the Canadian Football League.
Right, end up anywhere playing.
Yeah, and he's getting talked about. So I'd look at that guy and I'd probably pick him if I'm at the 4 or 5 spot.
Well, the Bucks are keeping it simple. They look like they're going to draft an offensive tackle or some shit. So,
but after 4, the Falcons, they're the ones who are talking about Mac Jones.
Mm-hmm.
I'd go Trey Lance. Atlanta, Trey Lance would look really good in Atlanta. Mac Jones is from the South and all that stuff, but Trey Lance's style, you're only going to have 1 more year of Julio after this year, I feel like.
Right.
And this is the last year you have to have Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan's pretty much a done deal, gone after this year. They weren't able to find an agreement. They weren't able to find a trade. After this year, they can do a buyout or whatever the fuck the NFL does to get rid of the contracts and get rid of him.
Yeah.
So get Trey Lance, let him sit around for a year and learn the system. And they're rebuilding. They just got rid of Dan Quinn. So I like that way better than Mac Jones. I don't think Mac Jones is going to be able to do too much in this league unless he finds the right spot.
Well, are there any QBs? Like, I know they're not going to do this because they need QBs, but are there any QBs next season that the Falcons could just say, you know what, fuck it, we're getting Kyle Pitts. We're going to come in last place and get X next year? Like, who would be there for next year? Because if all of you guys get quarterbacks and they don't, they could easily be last place.
Yeah, but I mean, like, who have you heard of in the Heisman voting that's a sophomore or junior? Who have you heard of for the, what is it, not the Wooden Award. Damn it.
The
best quarterback.
Maxwell? Is it Maxwell?
Maxwell, yeah, it's the Maxwell. Who have you heard for the Maxwell Award? It's the same people every single year, and they're all in the draft this year.
Right.
Including Kyle Trask. So, yeah, if I'm one of them, maybe I get Kyle Trask and sit on him and let him build. Because we all know Kyle Trask is a good quarterback. He's going to be a great quarterback. He just has a couple years of growth, and he has a couple things he needs to learn. And he's very raw right now. And I feel like Trey Lance is as well. But Trey Lance has been the guy for a long time, where Kyle Trask has always been the backup, just waiting on his time. And just
there you go. You could get Derek King next year.
Ready to go.
He's around.
See, that's the same type shit. Like, he's been the guy. But he's not. We all learned last year. He's not going to do anything in the NFL.
That's just Miami, bro.
He can't do shit in the ACC, bro.
That's just Miami. He was doing shit for the first 4 weeks and then fell off the table because that's what they do.
NC State smacked the shit out of him. Then they met Clemson the next week, smacked the shit out of him.
Yeah. But I don't know. I mean, why not throw a curveball? Because Tampa Bay is going to win it again. Let Atlanta lose. Or even if they did draft Kyle Pitts and then get Kyle Trask down in the second round or late first round, if they can trade back up, that's a possibility. I don't think it's going to happen because if they like,
I think Kyle Pitts is going to go top 10. He's
going to be the first non-QB off.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. The first team that doesn't need a quarterback is taking him. And if they don't, they're stupid.
The only team I can see taking somebody else would be Miami taking Devontae Smith just because they want to see if Tua has anything.
He was at 5. I haven't looked at the draft order.
Well, I think they are going to become 5 if they trade with the 49ers or whoever for the second pick or the
third
whatever.
pick. No, I think they're going to go to 6. I thought.
I don't remember. I read the mock draft today and I read the mock draft today and I already forgot it. I'm looking it up.
Bengals?
No. Let's see. So Jaguars, Jets, San Francisco via Miami.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's saying Miami trades back up into Atlanta's spot to get 4th. But then, yeah, Bengals are 5th and then Miami's 6th. So, but yeah, I think Kyle Pitts will be the first non-QB off the board.
Ooh, that'd be nice. AJ Green's still in Cincy, right?
No, didn't he go to Arizona or some shit?
Yeah, no, I think Tennessee.
Yeah, somewhere else. Good for him. We didn't talk about that.
No, we didn't. Let me look it up real quick. But yeah, that'll be good for good old Joey Burrow.
Anyways,
still with oh yeah, Arizona. You were right.
Oh, nice. Everybody going to Arizona trying to get a win. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just they need to do the Gronk treatment on AJ Green. Don't play him at all. Just let him go out there. Only play 4th quarters in the playoffs. That's all we need.
He only needs to play 8 games, and that's the divisional games.
Yeah, exactly.
Go 8-0 in the division and go 10-6 or 10-7, and get into the playoffs, be a 6 seed, and do your thing.
So the added game is a non-divisional game, right? Because that would be kind of weird to have a divisional game.
Yeah, you're right.
That's just so weird, though, already. But we don't really have to talk about that again. But what else do we have for football before we move on? Anything?
I don't think so.
All right, cool. So
you want to talk about the 2 teams going for that just a chunk of metal?
Yeah. So there's a hunk of metal out there that if you can hit a ball with a stick, you can sometimes win it. And my boys, if we had a closer, which we do have a closer that we don't use in Corey Knievel, we went and got him because he's a great closer, and we still use Kenley Jansen for some reason. We would only have 1 loss if Kenley could close at all, but we all know he can't. So it looks like we're going to be 9-2 after tonight. Far and away the best team, but all we've played so far is the Rockies and some shitty team. I don't even remember who, but not any great teams. So once we start to face the Reds and the Padres, obviously, and Nationals and stuff like that, we'll see. But we're clearly the best team. Tonight was awesome, by the way. So just a quick aside, Mookie leads off for us, and he got out right off the bat. And then Seager and Taylor came up back-to-back jacks right after that. So we're up 2-0. And I guess they were probably giving Mookie a lot of shit in the dugout. Like, yo, dog, you got out, and we were trying to run some back-to-back to lead off the game. So then next time up, Mookie just cranked an even longer home run than both of those 2 guys. So I'm sure something like that's happening in the clubhouse. These guys are all fun guys, and they all like to bust each other's balls. We've heard Mookie talk to David Ortiz in the interviews and stuff. They love just having fun. So it's just exciting to watch. We're just such a great team, and you might as well be if you're going to pay that much money. We're looking good. But you guys have an AL championship you guys might be eyeing. You took a couple years off, and now you're back.
Yeah, I mentioned it to you earlier. I'm trying to find this damn pitcher's name that we got this year. He's just doing work. I think he's only been in 3 appearances, and I can't find it, though. But, yeah, so we started out this season 0-3, worst start in history since 1948 for the Red Sox. And then our beloved cheating-ass coach that I can't fucking stand, he said, you know what? Bring back the trash cans. Bring back the buzzards. I'm bringing back everything I learned in Houston. And we're going to win this damn thing. And we haven't lost a game since. We swept the Rays. We're about to sweep the Twins. And before that, don't remember who it was, but we swept them too. Actually, no, I think it was just it was the Rays. And damn it, I suck. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And then we came back and swept the Orioles, who started us.
Who had just swept you guys.
Yeah. So we're 2-1 in the series, and we just beat Twins 2-1 or 3-2 tonight. So
you guys are undefeated on the road. That's so crazy.
Yeah.
We're undefeated at home, but that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, so I mean, there's only one team with a better record than us right now, and that's you guys. And the only thing with us is, yeah, it's early, but we're young. Like when we were texting that Kike, we're gonna learn here in about 2 months how much Kike has affected that clubhouse, because we're gonna see guys like Xander Bogaerts and Rafi and see if they're still able to blast it and all that stuff. And he's our leadoff hitter, and he starts it off. And
well, because right now JD Martinez is carrying you guys again, right?
Yeah,
which is the way it's been. But
that's just to be expected.
Right.
So it's these young cats that I'm worried about. And I don't really know how the clubhouse is and stuff like that, but from what I see, I just feel like JD's not that guy in the clubhouse who 100 games in is going to be like, yo, motherfuckers, we got 62 games left. We got to pick this shit up. And Kike's going to probably in there every day. He's probably in there every day. 158 left.
Yeah, and he's a jokester. He has a good time about it, but he keeps people going.
There. Yeah, and so we're going to learn real quick what he's able to do here in the hot days of summer. And I love it. It's a lot better than I felt last week when I was like, well, let's see what the Pawtucket, whatever they are, the Paw.
There's socks too, but it's something else, right? The Pawtucket something socks, I think.
I don't know. Yeah.
I got traded to them in my stupid MLB game, which, by the way, in a week, we can start talking about real MLB again instead of MLB 2010 or whatever I have on PlayStation. We're going to be doing a road to the show, or I'll be doing road to the show. I don't know what Sil will be doing. But hopefully I won't get traded to the Red Sox, because that's where I was the entire time. So you just got signed on. I got signed on to AA for you guys. And then I moved. That's who gave me my first chance at a real at an MLB game. So I did awesome. Then I went to another team. They traded me to the Orioles, and the Orioles dropped me right back down to AAA right away. I was like, what the fuck? So I mean, the Red Sox were the only team that gave me something. And then eventually I could sign where I wanted to. I signed with the Dodgers, and now I'm doing work with the Dodgers like I want to be. But yeah, the Red Sox are who gave me my chance in 2010. Hopefully in 2021 it'll be a little different.
Yeah, I'm excited for this new video game. Hopefully,
me too, man.
Sometime this week I'll be able to get my hands on it, and it'll actually show up on like my fucking Nats jersey.
You gotta drop that Best Buy, dude. Best Buy. You gotta wake up early though, and make sure you just because then you can go pick it up from the store if you have to or whatever. But
yeah, that'd be great.
But they say that tomorrow, Thursday and Friday. Tomorrow's Target, Thursday's Walmart, Friday's Best Buy. That's what the Twitter says. So I'll be on there looking with you too. I got bills to pay tomorrow, but if I have downtime, I'll hit there and refresh a couple times.
Yeah, bro, just buy that bitch and I'll Venmo you the money.
I've been looking. Just like I said, I read the Twitter and shit.
Yeah, I'm on the same fucking guys, and
yeah,
it's the other night with Walmart, bro, was so frustrating. Frustrating. Like we'll sit there, it's out of stock, add a cart, bam, be able to add a cart, go to checkout, and then out of stock. So we're another step closer. And then, it's back in stock. So you get there, payment in, everything, bam, checkout, thinking you have it, and then out of stock again.
What you got to do is you got to get on your laptop and on your phone and just try to buy it on both, and whichever one gets it.
What if you end up with two?
Then you sell one for $800 off fucking eBay or whatever, dude. Or whatever you sell shit on. But yeah, so anyways, if you guys are trying to get an Xbox Series X, don't for like a week. Just wait.
Get one first.
And let producer Sil get one, so we got some content to bring to you guys. Some virtual content.
Or if you know anybody selling them for retail that's a stingy little punk and can't find anybody to sell them to $800 for, I'll buy one from them for $5.
For the normal price, yeah.
Yeah.
My cat is like moving the cord around and stuff. All right, so yeah, so the baseball is heating up, but it's still just 10 games in. Nobody really knows what's going on, but the Dodgers look great. DeGrom looks great. The Red Sox look great. Everybody that's supposed to look great, and then the Red Sox. So yeah, it's pretty exciting. But let's actually talk real quick about, I mentioned JD Martinez. I don't know how much you've actually paid attention yet to baseball since it's still early, but this Byron Buxton guy is off to a hot start. And it looks like he might be a guy to look at in the future because he's just some little nobody, no name right now. But he is killing it. He's Triple Crown leader right now, but obviously that doesn't mean shit. But you guys just beat him. But he's looking really freaking good.
Who does he play for? Oh, the Twins?
Minnesota, yeah.
Yeah, fuck that kid.
But he is
and it's weird. So we were talking about. I said maybe it could be the White Sox and the Indians, and the Indians are looking good. The White Sox are looking really sketch. The Reds are coming out of nowhere, and it seemed like the Twins found a couple guys who might be able to lead them to an 80-win season. And so, I mean, it's kind of like any other season, but a lot of these guys who kind of die off are getting really fucking hot starts, not going 6-4. Like we got the Reds going 7-3. The Twins, they're going to end up dropping the 3-game series to us, but they were looking really good before that happened. And then the Orioles were looking good. They beat the Yankees a couple times, and after sweeping us, but they've kind of died down. So yeah, I'm excited for baseball, but it's a long season ahead, and I can't get too far ahead of myself after this lovely week of baseball that I've had.
How is Jeter's team doing down there in Miami next to you?
They fucking suck. I mean, awesome. so they felt like they were going to make a run, but they suck. They said they don't spend money. I know. He is the cheapest guy to not run the Packers.
He'll eventually change his mind once he realizes that his way isn't going to work. Yeah. Everybody thinks that their way is something that nobody's ever thought of before. Like nobody's ever thought that you can not spend money.
He's putting money in his pocket. And
no, I know that's what he's saying though. That's what every owner does at first. He's like, well, the last owner spent a lot of money. I think we can win my way and save a little bit of money. And then you come and last for like 5 years and you're like, all right, I should probably throw a bone somewhere. Yeah, unless you're Pittsburgh, because they still haven't. So
coming off a playoff run and all that shit. So yeah, he's probably confident, but they're going to suck. And with that extra team getting in, I mean, maybe they're able to sneak it, but we have 162 games again this year. It's not a shortened season.
Right.
They got a long way to go, so we'll see what happens.
Absolutely. So that's just kind of the sports world right now. What I did want to bring up is that the hockey trade deadline just happened, and I don't know names. I'm not going to tell you any names, but I did get our very brief hockey update from Eddie, and it looks like Detroit basically gave the cup to Washington. So that was his interpretation of the trade deadline, is because we were sellers. Obviously we suck. We just want draft picks. We gave away like three dudes, and I think the two best ones went to Washington, and so he's mad because obviously he doesn't like Ovechkin. He's a Crosby guy.
And Pittsburgh is fucking destroying people right now. So yeah, he's probably pissed off.
But so he's mad because Washington should be the favorites again, along with like Toronto and Tampa Bay, the usual suspects. But yeah, so
next time you talk to him, tell him I said good. I hope Crosby gets swiped again.
I just texted him go Ovi whenever. Every time he says stuff like that, I'm like, go Ovi. I always say go Ovi compared to Crosby at least. And it doesn't even have to do with their stats. I just like the guy better. He seems more hockey to me. Crosby's like the friggin' Jeff Gordon, and Ovechkin's the Dale Earnhardt. So that's why I go with Ovechkin. But Eddie was also a Jeff Gordon fan, so fuck him.
Really?
Yeah. He was a Jeff Gordon fan growing up, which the only people that were Jeff Gordon fans were non-NASCAR fans. So
I remember one time my mom got me a Jeff Gordon jacket for my birthday or for Christmas or something, and I was like, what the hell's wrong with you? You don't know.
Who was your favorite, or who was your dad's favorite?
My dad was Earnhardt.
My mom loved Earnhardt. I mean, because he was older, right?
Well, Earnhardt, and Junior, he loved them both. And because Earnhardt passed away, 01?
Mm-hmm.
And February 01. But yeah, mine was Mark Martin. I love me some Mark Martin. I don't know fucking why, but my was my guy.
My dad's was Dale Earnhardt Sr., and then when he died, it was Dale Jarrett. He loved him some Dale Jarrett.
Yeah, my dad went to who was it? Mark Truex was the guy who took over. Was the guy who took over the number 3 a couple years later, and then my dad liked Junior and Truex.
I liked Tony Stewart, which is always their teammate, and he wasn't near as good as those guys, but I liked him.
I didn't like Tony Stewart. He was a crybaby. That's why I kind of like Ryan Newman because he didn't give a damn. But Mark Martin didn't. He just drove. That's why I think I liked him a lot. He won and he drove and he smiled and he had a bald head.
I always use Tony Stewart in my NASCAR game.
And he had a
on
cool
PlayStation.
Car.
So
Mark Martin had a really cool Valvoline car.
Tony Stewart had that Home Depot orange car. That shit
Number
was
20.
Terrible. But now that we've lost the one viewer that probably we had, because
sorry, Joe.
I don't know. Does he like NASCAR? Oh. We went from hockey to NASCAR, which is pretty hilarious. But let's real briefly talk about basketball, and then we can kind of close on a couple of cool stories, or not cool stories actually. The Suns still look good, man. We beat the Jazz last week, and then of course lost to the Clippers really badly in the second leg of the back-to-back. But we're 2-0 against the Jazz now. We're only 1.5 games back of them. We could potentially get first place. We still have to play the Jazz a couple more times. If we beat them, we could get first place. Actually, it might be 3 times because of the 72-game season. But we at least have to play them one more time. If we come in first place, dude, we have a real shot. Even if we're second place, we have a real shot. But we're actually kind of hoping that the Lakers don't fall all the way into that play-in because they're going to win the play-in. So if we're number 2 seed, we will get stuck with the Lakers if they get in that play-in. So.
Yeah, that'll suck. And the Cavs have just went on a losing tear this past week, dropping games to the Raptors, which we need to beat. And so it sucks. Who do we play next? I don't even fucking care. So we play Charlotte. That might help a little bit. Golden State's not going to help out a lot. Is Charlotte going to help? Yeah, Charlotte's 7th. So a win's a win, but we just really need the Pacers to stop finding a groove in a couple different games. And
Charlotte should fall out of that shit with LaMelo not there.
Yeah.
So that'll help.
Dude, Miles, he's been showing out, bro.
Yeah.
And so, but yeah, I mean, it's hard to find that balance when we really only have 2 guys who can go out. I mean, Kevin Love's coming back in and he's doing work, but when you have 2 guards, it's hard to really play off of it when you fucking keep drafting big guys.
The same thing.
Yeah, it's just the dumb thing. We either go big or we go guard, and then last year with Isaac Okoro for defense, which we're really good on defense. Dean Wade is awesome. Dylan Windler's really good. Colin Sexton's a bulldog. Darius Garland's kind of slack on the perimeter. But all in all, we're pretty good on defense. We just need to find something other than somebody who coming down with the ball and more play off the ball. That's why I like Darius Garland. He's able to go off the ball and find a spot. But if Colin Sexton doesn't have the ball, he's not scoring.
Right. Yeah, and we knew that in college that was all he had going for him. So, but at least he's gotten better. He's definitely improved from that first year when we both had high hopes for him and he was ass his rookie year. So he's improved from there. So
yeah, I like to see a little bit more aggression out of Isaac Okoro. When he tries, he can put up 20 points. It's just it doesn't happen that often.
Yeah, so we do want to talk about it. It was looking like the usual suspects, which it still is: Lakers, Clippers, Nets, Philly. Those guys seem to be doing their work. Suns and Utah are surprising everybody still. And then Denver, after this Aaron Gordon trade, was looking like, man, maybe they are the team to beat. They had jumped up. I think they went on a win streak since Gordon. And now they just lost to the Warriors. But even bigger than that, they lost Jamal Murray for the rest of the season. Torn ACL. How far can they go without Jamal Murray? We know what he can do in the playoffs. So
yeah, they're not going to go too far, and it stinks for them that this didn't happen 2 weeks ago, and they could have spent that money elsewhere or spent that draft pick elsewhere or whatever it is that they had to give up to get Aaron Gordon. And but I mean, I don't really know who their backups are.
They can sign Isaiah Thomas because the Pelicans did not renew his contract.
Yeah, do they still have Gary Harris as the?
No, they traded him in the Gordon trade.
Really?
I think. Yeah.
So yeah, they're really screwed. I mean, it's really hard with a guy like Jamal Murray who's able to put up 30 points, 15 assists,
right?
And he's great on defense as well. And the only thing that they have going for them is when they are doing really good, it's set up in the inside, and they were able to add Aaron Gordon into that. Right. So maybe they'll figure out a way to put a Band-Aid on that front court or that back court and really help out that front court and make them guys eat up 70, 80 points a game.
I mean, they might honestly look at Isaiah Thomas and at least just tell him, hey, we don't need you to do anything crazy. Just get the ball up the floor if you can score some points, which we know he can do if he's healthy. We've never seen him healthy since he messed up his hip.
I did see that the other day on his debut. He made a couple of good baskets.
Yeah. So if he can do something like that,
was contested. So yeah, and like they don't need Isaiah Thomas to be the Celtics guy. They definitely can't afford him to be the Isaiah Thomas for the Cavs either.
Right.
Who gets traded after 2 games.
They don't need a number 1 or a number 2. And if Michael Porter steps up, they don't even need number 3. They just need a ball handler that can get up there and give Jokic the ball, really. Because Jokic can run point center, but he's just too out of shape to bring the ball up. So if they can just get somebody to bring it to him to the top of the key, he can take care of business from there.
Yeah, the only thing is going to be in the playoffs going up against guys like Swiper or Spider.
Right.
Freaking the God. And so that's the only thing that's really going to be hard. If LeBron gets healthy, he'll be running point in the playoffs.
Right.
So he'll be on like Caruso or whoever plays the off point.
Yeah.
And that. So that would be the only thing that I'm worried about is who the hell is he going to be able to play on defense in the playoffs?
Nobody. And without Gary Harris, they don't even have anyone. Yeah. So. Yeah, that's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
But they're just going to try to score 160 points and do it. But we know that the game slows down in the playoffs, and you're not going to beat teams 160 to 158 anymore. So that kind of sucks for them. I liked Denver. I mean, I was obviously scared of Denver as a Phoenix fan, but I like to watch them play. And that 2-man game with Murray and Jokic was the best thing in the playoffs last season because fuck LeBron. And we don't get to see that now, which kind of sucks. But hopefully Gordon can step up and give them something they were missing. Michael Porter could potentially even run point forward. So there's a chance that they don't do anything. But I think signing Isaiah Thomas might be a look, or just wait and see who else is there. But I don't think there's anybody else there. So
no, it's Stephon Marbury.
They can go sign Vince Carter. Not that he's a point guard, but all right. So
shout out to that 96 draft class.
Yeah, so the 96 draft, did you watch? There was a TV thing about it just the other day before a basketball game. I randomly had that shit on.
So did I, because I turned it on. I was like, ooh, it was the Heat game, Heat Trailblazers. I was like, ooh, and I turned it on at like 9:15, 9:20. The stream was on, but the game didn't start until 10 o'clock.
That's the same thing I did.
So yeah.
I mean, mine was on actual TV. I wasn't stealing it, but that's the same thing I did. But yeah, it was a really cool little documentary thing about the 96.
It was on a stream.
True. About the 96 draft class, which just has so many great people. It's so funny. I turned it on and they were talking about Antoine Walker, and I was like, what the fuck? Is this a documentary about Antoine Walker? But then they started talking about Steve Nash and all these other guys, and it's really crazy how many amazing players
Wallace gave him $4.
Yeah, didn't they say there were like 17 titles between all the guys or something?
Yeah, there's like 17 titles.
There was like
12 titles, 4
MVPs,
4 MVPs, 5 defensive player of the years, like all kinds of ridiculous stuff.
A lot of crazy stats. And then Antoine Walker, who, whatever, he got some titles, I guess, is why they added him.
Yeah, they had Allen Iverson, Kobe, Nash, Wallace.
Those are the MVPs, yeah.
Stephon. Yeah.
Yeah, what a draft class, man.
And then that would be, just think, 96 versus 03. That'd be a hell of a game to watch.
03 was what? LeBron, Wade, Bosh,
CP.
God damn, they would destroy every team. But depth comes to maybe the 96, but that's a top heavy. Where was Garnett? 97?
Yeah.
Older? I don't know. But anyways,
bro, AI, Kobe, Nash, then Ben Wallace.
I don't know. Antoine Walker.
Bro, what in 03? Who the hell is going to go? Who's going to get Ben Wallace? Who's getting boards over Ben Wallace in 03?
Nobody.
Bron, Melo.
Who's going to defend Bron though? Kobe? I mean, Kobe's the best defender, on-ball defender, but LeBron's so much bigger than Kobe.
Hey, he won in 2010 with LeBron guarding him.
That's true.
Well, I mean, he didn't have anything to do with his playoff runs or finals appearance, but
right.
Hey, he lost to the Celtics. That's what he did. He lost to the Celtics, went bye-bye, ended up in Miami.
That's true. That's true. So let's end this up by talking a little bit about not American Australian Football League, because both of our teams suck now, and it was a short-lived run for both of us. Yeah. We made it up to 9th place. We were almost in the playoff hunt after like week 2, and now we're back down there with you guys. And we still haven't faced anybody good. But there are a couple stories that we don't need to get too deep into. But what is the deal with all this sex crap coming out, man? So now Jake Paul is under that, which is barely sports, but at least he's boxing now. But
it sucks because I want to see him in Ben Askren.
I think he's still going to fight the fight. These things take forever, but it's so real weird.
Quick, Jake Paul. You gotta expect something like that with him and his reputation and how he came about. Like, he came about through videos, and you barely ever see the guy in a shirt. He doesn't think he's ugly whatsoever. And me and you know guys like that. The old security guard from Walmart, I'm not gonna say his name, but Hottie too. So guys like that, they definitely take advantage of situations and present opportunities that aren't there and accept in their minds. So I'm not surprised by that at all. There's not too much to talk about with it.
I mean, he's just going to pay her off and it's going to be done.
Yeah, and he's still going to be able to get, like, with stuff like that, he's not really under contract with anything. It's not going to affect his life too much unless he's not going to be able to receive monetary checks from YouTube anymore. That would be his biggest downfall. But he'd probably just go and put videos on OnlyFans or some weird shit. I just found out today OnlyFans isn't just for nudes. People just post pictures.
It can be anything, apparently, but
I didn't know that. So he would probably just go on there and have his subscribers come over and pay $20 a month to hit the like and subscribe button or whatever the hell these YouTube people say nowadays.
That's basically
I'm not surprised at all.
Yeah, but it sucks because I'm sure he did something. She signed a non-disclosure agreement and all that shit. So, like, there's going to be a paper trail that proves what happened here. I don't want to speak in too definitive terms, but we're pretty sure that something's. But he's just going to pay her off. It's going to be done. Hopefully, she doesn't allow that. Hopefully, if something really happens, she fights it through to the end. But money talks, and she's going to take about $50 million and walk out of there.
And I don't see this being an isolated event either with him. Somebody's going to come through and they're probably have a lawyer that's vetting them, and it's just not as big and bright as the Deshaun Watson that they just want to really throw into the media. We got another one. We got another one that's being vetted. This one's just under the radar. Like, hey, we might have another one. We're figuring it out now. We're going to make sure it's concrete or it's crumble, and we either bring it in or dismiss it.
So, well, to talk a little bit about Deshaun Watson, they decided that they're going to ID every single one of these 22 women. So far, I believe only one that at least I've seen ID'd. But now they have to ID all 22 of them. They're moving forward with that. So at least they can mount a defense. I'm sure he has better lawyers than they do. So we'll see what happens.
And I was happy to see that, because I did see that whenever one of the original 17 came out to be a hoax, like she just wanted to be in it, and I just won the lawyer. I'm not a lawyer, but just some lawyer thing in my mind was like, oh, if one's making it up, they're all making it up.
And that's what the lawyer is going to say for sure.
Yeah, and that's what I really felt like was going to happen, and to be able to not even get this thing going. And justice needs to be served. He's came out and said to a couple different ones, but that's not justice. That's not anything done. So justice needs to be served. It needs to go on and go out and figure out what the hell happened and what really was done and the damage that was done, and whether it's money, community service, whatever the hell this American justice system thinks needs to be done.
He's going to be paying a shit ton. And it's for his livelihood, though. Like, I don't know who's going to sign him again. So we'll see. Because he already wasn't getting like trade offers and shit like that. So now that he's got a big stain on him, I don't know if anything's going to come of it. And that really sucks, because he's going to have to pay a lot of money, and he might have a lot of money right now, but
he's still being retained by Houston.
Right.
Houston hasn't came out and said that they're waiving his contract or dropping him or doing any kind of buyout or again.
Because they're scared the Raiders will be like, "Fuck it, we don't care." They'll go grab his ass.
Well, and that's the thing. I mean, the Jaguars held the rights to what was that dumbass's name out of Oklahoma State? Oh man, I forget his name. Justin. I forget his name, but yeah, I think to this day we still. Justin Blackmon.
Oh, right.
I think to this day we still own the rights to him, and we tried to get him back in 3 years ago, and to see if he could do anything. It's just, they're not going to let go of the guy, but he's under contract, like he's getting paid. Right. We just held the rights.
No, that's why they need to release him. But whatever.
Nope, they're going to pay him, and then once he doesn't re-sign, they're going to hold his rights if he ever wants to try to enter the league again.
Well, that's pretty crazy. All right, so. And the next thing we want to talk about just a little bit, and I think it's the last thing, at least that I have, Minnesota took another day off. Shout out to those teams for all coming together and doing something. This is another death, regardless of all the circumstances. It looks, I don't know if you've seen the body cam footage yet.
I don't want to.
But it definitely looks like an accident, and it sucks, the situation. But I think, at least, and I don't want to sound like white privilege and all this other stuff, but it definitely seemed like an accident, or she's a damn good actor, this cop. And I don't think you can act that well in the moment. But
my thing is, I haven't seen it. I don't really know too much about it. That kind of shit enrages me in the wrong way. So I'm trying to be more loose on these days. But I feel like if it would have been me, would it have been an accidental discharge of a taser? Like, was the gun being out necessary?
No, she thought it was a taser. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
He pulled it out and she said, "I will tase you. I will tase you." And then she goes, "Taser, taser, taser," and shot him with one bullet. So unless she's a damn good actor and said, like, "I know I'm on camera, I need to shout taser before shooting this guy," I think just in the heat of the moment, she pulled out the wrong thing. Pulled out the gun instead of the taser. But that's just bad training.
Damn it.
That's just terrible. So the overarching theme is another police killing, and that can't happen. Even with an accident, that can't happen. We need better training. We need something, because if that's the way, she just wasn't ready for a gun then. Like, you have to go through to prove you're ready. And clearly when shit hit the fan and it got crazy, because it did, she pulled out the wrong one. And regardless of whether it's an accident or not, you need to be trained better, or she just wasn't suitable. And she should not have been out there in the field in that circumstance. But a shout out to these Minnesota teams. All three teams, the basketball, baseball, and hockey, all took the night off. They said, "No, we're not going to play. We just want to clear the air, just take another day off." And so it's good to see these sports teams still grinding, still trying to make their peace with what's going on in the world. And it's just another sad thing, man.
And we're here a year later since it really all started with the crumbling down of LA over there. Mm-hmm. And it's crazy. And it really is a systematic change. I saw something today online, a post, and it was like, this is a police car. And it showed one of like Britain's or whatever's police cars that have the blue and yellow checkered that's really bright. And it was like, this is able to be seen in case of help is needed. And then said, this is a pirate, and it's one of our police cars that's like undercover,
unmarked,
with a reflective. Yeah. And it's like, this is here to take away your money to help benefit them. And I was like, that's literally what it's all about. They want to put you in jail, and they let people like that. Like, the fucking Patriots don't want to put whatever the guy's name was that was going to replace Tom Brady. I forget his name. Stidham, yeah. So they get Cam, and now they get Cam again because they don't think that guy's qualified to go and start in a high pressure situation of starting in NFL. It needs to be the same shit in the police force. You need to have the top tier people that are out there in Jupiter. When I moved to Jupiter, I was like, yeah, I could be a cop here. I could do what the fuck happens in Jupiter, like shit like that. Yeah, you could probably have a Mitch Trubisky type police officer, around. But in places that all this shit always happens, it seems to be high escalated, high tense areas and situations. And you want to have those Pat Mahomes, Tom Brady type officers, and you should have nothing less than that on your force. And if you can't have that, oh well, put it over to the public and let us defend ourselves and help ourselves and police ourselves.
I mean, no, they can't do that because the public would suck. But I can't speak to the training that this lady has had, but something has to happen with the whole reform of the police, that all those motions that are going on, because those people shouldn't be on the field. I couldn't do that shit. I'd be scared to death. I don't want to shoot somebody. I don't even want to touch my gun. I'm not suitable for police force. But you need to understand that about your people, instead of just letting them run a mile or 2 miles in 20 minutes or whatever you have to do and then take a written test. That doesn't show what you can do. Give them the fucking Men in Black training. Like, I don't care what you give them. Like, just make sure they know what they're doing and can handle a pressure situation, because clearly she couldn't. And I think it was an accident. So I feel sorry for everyone involved. It really sucks, but those accidents cannot happen. Police have to be held to a higher standard. So regardless of whether it's purposeful or accidental, it just can't happen. And that's a bottom line that has to be there. And right now it's not.
And their argument is, what do you want us to do? Do you want us to just take cops off the street and retrain them? Yeah. People still go into restaurants that aren't fully staffed, and the food ends up coming out. It might end up coming out 45 minutes later. But hey, that's exactly what we want you to do.
Send her out there without a gun. Give her a partner that's trained and proven he or she can handle a gun, and put the person that hasn't proven it out there without a gun. Give them 2 tasers. I don't give a fuck what you give them, but they haven't proven they can have a gun yet.
Have Paul Blart and Vin Diesel just running around.
Yeah, exactly. They need partners anyway. Match it up somehow that way. If you need people out in the field, you can't just hand people a gun though and say, "Look, sorry, we're short-staffed. We need to have it." No, fuck that. So
I agree.
The bar is too low right now, and we just need to continue to raise that bar. And I just wanted to, more so than complain about that, I wanted to shout out those Minnesota teams for saying, we don't really care the circumstance. It's still wrong. That bar has to be raised. And so shout out to them for that.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Yeah. Anything else?
No. That's about it.
That's
be like Minnesota.
Be like Minnesota. Not on the court, but off the court, because they suck on the court.
Be like most of the country. And that's what I'm happy. Absolutely. That's what I've realized about 2021. It's not really a lot of division unless you're watching the news and all that shit. That's really when it starts. When you get really down to the nitty gritty and look at it through the microscope.
Or talk to people. Literally just fucking talking to people.
Yeah. There's a lot of people that don't give a damn who you are, where you're from, what skin color you are. We're Americans, and we're in a very big fucking fight against a pandemic and against a government who could give a shit less about 99% of us. And that's what it's about, is coming together and taking a stand. So be more like Minnesota, be more like a lot of Americans, and be a stud and not a scrub.
Yeah.